Hi, Dr. Mark here. Today I have a patient of mine with me here. Her name is Billy, and she is also just graduated from the BrainCore plan. She was a patient prior to evolving with BrainCore, and we've been treating her for leg pain primarily. She works very hard, a physical job, lots of hours, and she has restless leg syndrome. So she's been having a real hard time sleeping, could only lay on her back because of the pain in her legs, and her fidgetiness made it very difficult to fall asleep. And she'd always wake up in pain, could never lay on her side because the pain in her legs hurt too much on her side. So we had some amazing results with you right out of the gate. And again, this really surprised me. I expected it taking several treatments to see any changes in people. And even from the very first visit, we noticed some changes. So Billy, tell me about what happened after the first visit.
Well, I couldn't sit down at all and watch TV for my legs just moving around. When I would go to bed, it was even worse. And after a couple visits, I could sit down and watch TV without my legs going crazy. And then I was able to lay in bed without my legs moving. And I wasn't having to turn from one side to the other, trying to get comfortable. The pain was just finally easing off.
So it took about 5, 6 treatments somewhere in that point. You finally got to the point that you could sleep and not be consumed by the pain in your legs. And
right.
Your fidgetiness, which kept you from getting a good, deep, quality sleep, which then, with the amount of hours you work and how hard you work, towards the end of the day, you find yourself hitting a wall and so forth.
Right.
That's awesome. Now, we also remember that when we were about halfway through the plan, about 10th, 11th visit, somewhere in there, you noticed another big change, and that was waking up, right?
Right. Before, when I would wake up, I would be so tired. It was like I hadn't even been to bed. And then I could get up and go in the bathroom, and I thought, man, I'm not as tired. I don't feel... I feel like I can go to work now without, I just wasn't, I dreaded getting up and then the long drive to work, and then when I got to work I would sit there and I thought, am I going to be able to make it through the day? I mean, it was just such a difference being able to just get up and go to work, and everybody else would look, what's wrong with you? You're ready to go to work.
Actually feel like yourself and feel like doing something and not feel limited. That is so awesome. Now, you had also mentioned that prior to during the BrainCore that you had to actually take several different medications.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what you're on medication for.
I was on
what you're doing now.
I was on medication for the restless leg.
Like an antispastic type medication?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was also on an antidepressant because I just stayed so depressed all the time. I mean, I never felt good. And then I was on an anti-inflammatory. And I have come off of all 3.
That's so
and
awesome.
I feel great.
That is so awesome. That kind of thing is priceless. Now, one of the other things I wanted to mention about Mary is she was one of the patients that found it very beneficial to buy her own AV glasses. And these are the glasses that they use to help stimulate us into any one particular brain mode. And her and her sister both share the glasses.
Right.
Primarily, it's very helpful for falling asleep at night when you're still finding whatever's going on with you can't fall asleep.
Right.
And then you've also used a couple of the other settings too. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, sometimes I don't get home. I mean, it's late when I get home. I get up at 4 o'clock. So if I don't go to bed by 8:30, I'm not ready to get up at 4 o'clock. So if I have any problems where I can't go to sleep, all I do is get up and put my glasses on, do 10 minutes of the sleep zone, and I'm out.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I noticed that's worked really well for my children and myself as well. At times when we really need to just wind and shut down. But that is so awesome that, first of all, you're not on your antidepressants anymore.
No.
You're not on the antispastic medication anymore. You're happy, you're feeling good, you're waking up better, you're not fidgeting, you're sleeping through the night, and no sleeping pills anymore either.
No.
Nothing to knock you out and make you feel groggy when you wake up. I am so happy to be part of that. for you, and I'm so happy that you got such great results. And thank you for spending this time and sharing that with everybody. We appreciate it.
And I'm just glad I feel so much better.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.